Welcome back, whisky fans. Absolute cracker of a whisky yesterday with ACO Spirits Smoky Scot 5-year-old Isla. New number one on the leaderboard. Let's see if we can get something equally fantastic today. 8th of December, Dram number 8. It's really good that quite a few of these, like the Parkmore and the Denny and the Smoky Scot, the top 3 in this advent calendar this year, are all available for well under £50. A lot of them, or I think the Smoky Scot, was that under 30? I think Denny, that was about the same as well. Parkmore was a little bit more, but still well under £50. Really good to see that we're getting some quality spirits at quality presentations, because the Parkmore was 46%. I think the Denny was a little bit less, 43, but still good for 43. And the Smoky Scot, 46%. Brilliant. So let's see what we've got today. Got a little bit of a confession. The last few days I have been reusing the same glass. I've just been rinsing it well with some bottled water before trying each dram. But today I've had to retire my Cotswolds glass and go for some normal stemware, because I think anything that I put in that glass, no matter how much water you rinse it with, it's going to smell smoky after that Smoky Scot yesterday. And as much fun as it would be to have everything in the world smell and taste like peated Isla Scotch, it's not the point of tasting. That smells promising. A very pale one. Almost as pale as the Smoky Scot yesterday, perhaps. Lovely and clean and grassy. A little bit spicy. Quite a prickle on the nose, which hints that this might be another 46% or maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, definitely 46, maybe even 48, but a beautiful, sweet and delicate profile on this one. Reminds me, I think this is probably going to be something matured in refill bourbon casks. It's got that wonderful, beautiful, spirity profile in a really good way. It's all about the malt and the spirit. The cask is just there to support. A little bit of grassiness. Reminds me a little bit of the Singleton special release that we had a little while ago. I don't think this is as old as that, because that one was a 19-year-old, but it's got that similar kind of Singleton profile where it's all very clean and grassy and focused. Definitely grassy, a little bit spicy. Grainy, but not a toasted grain note, more of a cereal, a light cereal and barley sugar note. Reminds me a little bit of that Loch Lomond Distillery Edition number 3, the extra long maturation one. This hasn't got the full estery fruit bomb experience that Loch Lomond had, but it's got that similar refill bourbon, very no-nonsense profile about it. Lemon fondant, lemon squash, grassy, bourbon cask, a little bit of a very sweet, refined sugar note. All perfectly balanced, so it's perfectly balanced against that spicy, dry, grassy note. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Bourbon matured whiskey, especially refill bourbon matured whiskey with a decent ABV, is one of my favourite styles of whiskey. It's really overlooked. People really don't make a fuss about it because it's hard to sell whiskey which is matured in the most common cask type, and even then not even first fill. It's a difficult sell for marketing people to put a spin on it and make it seem special, but it can be special. It can be really, really good. So I don't know if it's a coincidence that we're getting some good ones in the middle, perhaps. I don't know if they think about it that much. A really good whiskey company sort of planning the different drams and how they follow on from each other. But I think this is another one that's going to come out towards the top. It actually isn't... It's probably not a million miles away from what you would have if you had the Smoky Scot but didn't have the peat. If you had an unpeated version of this, it would probably be reasonably similar. And the quality as well is absolutely there. I think this is going to be another second place whiskey. It's going to slot in underneath the Smoky Scot, above the Parkmore. The Parkmore was a fantastic whiskey, but my preference is for more natural, less messed around whiskey. And the Auchroisk, because it had that Madeira cask, I think I prefer this one a little bit. Really beautiful, clean, no nonsense whiskey. So this could be from a lot of different distilleries. Loch Lomond make this style of whiskey. All of the Singleton distilleries, Dalmunich, most of the distilleries that make... I don't want to use this as a derogative term describing this whiskey, but it's the kind of whiskey that you can get from most of the big grain fodder, blend fodder distilleries, the ones that are making blending bases for blended Scotch. And that's not derogatory at all. The kind of whiskey that you can get from distilleries like Singleton. More often than not, the stuff that they actually sell us is crap. But if you get a good cask from one of those distilleries, it can be really, really good. So, possibly Singleton or Auchroisk, one of those distilleries, something like that. What is that? Fettercairn. So 48.8%. So yeah, a little bit higher than 46. I think I did say 46, maybe 48. And it's got the power and intensity behind it to back up those flavours, which is really good. So this is Fettercairn Warehouse 2 Batch 4 Single Malt Scotch Whisky. So Fettercairn is a distillery that I've tried a few of their expressions, and this isn't really the kind of thing that I think of when I think of Fettercairn. When I think of Fettercairn, I think of something with more dry sherry in it, something with a little bit more body and meatiness to the profile, kind of something more along the lines of Mortlach. This is much cleaner, more refined, and a little bit sweeter. But let's see how much we're looking at to buy a bottle of this, because it's very good. Warehouse 2. So there's been at least 4 batches of this. So I don't think it's too expensive. I'm not going to look at Whisky Shop because they're always horrendously expensive. So this is what? Batch number 4. So the first thing that comes up that's not Whisky Shop, which I don't use because they're too expensive, is Master of Malt again, £54.94. So I think that is the most expensive dram that we've had so far. Nearly £60, which is quite a lot. It's nearly double what you would pay for the Smoky Scot, I think. But it's not too bad. Do we mind paying £55 for a 48.8% ABV whiskey? Of this calibre, not really. It's the kind of thing that I would be happy buying once. And if I got on with it well, maybe twice. It's good stuff. So yet again, we have a new number 2 on the board. Let me know what you think about this one if you've had it, if you're tasting along at home, and what do you think about Fettercairn? I think I'm right in saying that Fettercairn is still owned by White & Mackay. So really nice to see that we've got a White & Mackay product that isn't bunched up towards the bottom of the leaderboard. In my opinion, if we were going to get any white and Mackay product, which was towards the top, it was probably going to be Fettercairn. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow. Cheers.